I work daily with homeless veterans to rehouse them. About 6 months ago, this veteran came into my office. I introduced myself to this veteran, and this veteran proceeded on telling me about his misfortune. This veteran, he had lost his wife after being married for 25 years. He also had lost his job after being employed for 23 years. And then he told me about losing his job after 23 years. And also, he lived in his home for 19 years, and it was foreclosed on. So I told the veteran I need to do some paperwork in order for me to gather some information for me to do a referral for you to obtain education, employment, and housing services. So I gave him the document to fill out, and he looked at the document, and he looked at the ceiling, and he began to cry. And he said, "Mr. Davis, I just told you about my misfortunes in my life. How dare you give me a document that reads, have and have not? I am homeless. My wife has passed away. I have 2 children, ages 8 and 10, that I have to raise by myself." "Sir, come back here and pick up my piece of paper and my pen." "Take a seat, because we're going to fill that piece of paper out." We proceeded on showing him what he had. And what he had was a car, $400, an education, and 2 healthy children that was attending school. And when I told him, let's write down what you have not. And what we wrote down, what he has not, is barriers to a job, what he most wanted. Because he felt that without a job, he wouldn't be able to go on with his kids to getting them what they needed and obtaining a house and be able to maintain that home. Before he left, I gave him 4 things. I gave him a voucher for a hotel for him and his family. I gave him another voucher for employment services and homeless services. I also gave him $40 so he could fill up his car with gas and get himself a meal because he was kind of grumpy. I also gave him a website that he could find employment. And before he left, I said, I want to give you one more thing. CPT. He said, CPT? What does that mean? And I said, you'll find out. In 2 weeks, I want you to call me back. Within 10 days, I received a phone call. Mr. Davis, I need your help again. I said, what's going on? He says, I have 4 days before my hotel voucher runs out. I need to find a job. I'm still not employed. So I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and extend your voucher, your hotel voucher, and I'm going to also try to help you find employment. And I gave him an address to go to find employment. So he went to the address and he stood in line behind all these many people. And the room was very, very hot. And some of the people were homeless, some people were just looking for new jobs. And he calls me back again. And he says, Mr. Davis, why did you send me to a place like that to try to find a job? And I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you what that C means. That C stands for compassion. You need to have a little bit of compassion for people. You don't need to talk down about people or find faults with people. You need to have compassion with people. So I told him, I want you to see another friend of mine, and he's going to help you with your resume. And he also going to give you job lead, because we are in the job of helping you find a job. So he went on with the job lead, and unfortunately, he still was not employed. And he calls me once again, Mr. Davis, my hotel voucher is gone. I'm about to get my new apartment, but I have no furniture. I have no way to pay my utilities. I still don't have this job you've been talking to me about. What's going to happen? What am I going to do? So I said, remember the T. He said, T? What's the T for? I said, trust. You have to trust that you're going to get this job. You got to trust that when the employer sees you, that you're going to outshine all the other applicants. So he went on to the interview, and it was 880 applicants that he was up against. So then he called me back, and he said, Mr. Davis, I appreciate all that you have done for me. I appreciate all that you have taught me, but I don't think I have received this job. So 2 weeks ago, he walks into my office with this bag. And he explains why he walked in my office with this bag. He said to me, Mr. Davis, guess what? I got that job. I beat out all 880 of those applicants. And guess what, Mr. Davis? I bring you this bag because now my children and I, we put our clothes in our dresser drawers. We don't have to put our hygiene items in a bag anymore. We put them in the bathroom. Also, in this bag, I don't have to keep all my papers in there. I put them in my desk drawer where I do all of my business. Because you see, Mr. Davis, with my education of computer networking, they hired me. And I went on, and now I'm a supervisor in 6 months' time. And I said, all right, go ahead on. And I bring up CPT to you, my fellow Toastmaster. CPT, to have compassion, patience, and trust. I'm your newly elected president, and I hope to continue the tradition of Toastmasters, Tampa Toastmasters, 1810, the most prestigious and known in the Tampa Bay area. Madam Toastmaster.